The quartet of John Yutu, Dan Manduku, Wakili Hilary Sige and Eric Okeo in the studio with us on the State of the Nation this morning here on Citizen Television. Yes, Dan.
I think when I look at the former Deputy President and his utterances, and at the risk of sounding too biblical, I think he should be as wise as a serpent, but remain gentle like a dove. If he's going to attract people from outside the mountain, we are increasingly seeing him as trying to balkanize the country, as trying to tell anyone else who is not from the mountain that he's not welcome to his party. And to us, that is not where we should be going. It is unconstitutional. In fact, it is immoral that you want to run a political party based on an ethnic community. One ethnic community. We can never run the country like that. It means, therefore, that, God forbid, if he was ever to ascend to high office, you would go into his office and you find my friend, Senator for Moranga there. You find another guy from Olkalau there. That he will perpetuate exclusion, which has been the hallmark of leaders from the mountain. Secondly, and going by his utterances yesterday, he's trying to talk about shareholding. All that language was basically about what can he bring to the table in terms of numbers, and therefore translate that into shares. And that going forward, his government or his formation will be based purely on the numbers you brought. Therefore, allocation will be as per the shares.
Isn't that what the UDA party did in the coalition agreement with other parties as well?
I was not in UDA, Ayub.
But it did. It's on paper, signed by the party's lawyer, who was then Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki, that government was put on the table that if the Kenya Kwanza coalition wins power in 2022, Ford Kenya Party, for example, had its share. So was then Musalia Mudavadi's party, and it's shares that were put on paper, signed and deposited with the registrar of political parties.
Correct. Luckily, we have got Wakili Sige, who was in UDA. Yeah. I'm not privy to those because I was in ODM, and I'm still in ODM. Yeah. But having said that, it is still not the right way to do things. I would say that myself, that we should look at political formations beyond our ethnic balkanization.
Is it not then unfair to isolate Gachagua in the shares debate?
Well, it seems to be first among equals. So you cannot isolate him because he's the one who keeps talking about this. I haven't heard other leaders talking about shares.
Isn't it also dangerous in a constitutional democracy, Honorable Dan Manduku, when state agencies that are constitutional, where me, you, Eric, Wakili Hilary Sige, and John Yutu can compete based on merit, qualification, and competency, is put down on paper by politicians on how they will divide, how they will make the appointments and the approval processes plus the appointing authority if they win power at the expense of political expediency, then ending up locking out or elbowing out Kenyans who are competent and qualified. A good talking point. When the administration came to power in 2023, the High Court nullified the appointments of more than 1,400 Kenya Revenue Authority officials.
Yes.
700 plus, half of that number, came from the Kalenjin and the Kikuyu community. Correct. So from the outset, the shares issue was politically instigated. Therefore, isn't it unfair if you isolate Rigathi Gachagua with regards to the shares issues?
Well, when the government came in, we pointed that out. We were in the opposition. But there was a cure, there was a remedy. And the remedy was when the government was expanded to include those of us who were before in opposition. And so going forward, that has been cured. And two wrongs never make a right. What they did that time was wrong. Now we are doing the right thing with them.
Okay. Senator Yutu, you have been taking notes.
Yes, Ayub. And, you know, when I first contributed, I didn't contribute about Kibagendi's utterances yesterday, so kindly allow me to say something.
Yes, briefly, as you proceed.
Yeah, Ayub, I have not seen or heard Rigathi Gachagua, my party leader, telling any party to dissolve, to join DCP. I don't know where Kibagendi was coming from. I don't know where Munya, Muturi, Kivuti are coming from. Rigathi Gachagua has just been marketing his party. And he expressed himself very well yesterday in a gathering in which I was. And he said, parties are welcome. We want as many parties as possible. They will help mobilize voters. So he is not against any political party. And to prove this, Ayub, and I hope that Manduku is listening, to prove this, we had a candidate in Bere during the by-elections. But after negotiations with Justin Muturi saying, this was a DP, position, allow DP, we withdrew our candidate. And we actually did not just withdraw our candidate. Rigathi Gachagua did not just withdraw our candidate, but he went ahead to campaign for the DP candidate. I mean, nothing can be further from the truth. So the people here, like Senator Sigei, who represent William Ruto, and Manduku here, please, even as you want to fight Rigathi Gachagua, calling him names, there is a history, and Kenyans watch, they have seen, they saw what he did in Bere, supported a DP candidate, withdrew a DCP candidate who was very strong. The other thing is that, we are aware, of course, Ayub, that and because President Ruto does not have any other strategy other than, splitting the opposition. And we are aware of people. I don't want to mention names, but when you see Kibagendi talking, we are aware that either there are rumors, either government is talking to them, there are rumors, or the party leader there is being threatened that you must pay 1.6 billion related to Ruaraka land. So we do not know where they are caving in or something. And we must tell the truth. Yeah. So it's not about Rigathi Gachagua. It's about people who are approaching members of the United Opposition, either threatening them or maybe bribing them. But I'm not saying there is anything confirmed. But that must be said.
Those are allegations that you make.
I mean, they are rumors. Yeah. They are rumors. I've said they are rumors. They may not be confirmed. But, anything in Kenya, when you hear a rumor, sometimes, mostly, it comes to be true. Okay. I mean, it cannot be a coincidence.
Yeah. So because you're an elected senator who carries the weight of the people of Muranga's mandate, and this being an authoritative political show on the biggest television network in Eastern Central Africa and probably the continent. So let's do it with the rumors. In your view, regarding statement, the DCP party leader, has he in effect characterized Lenny Kivuti, J.B. Muturi, Fred Matiang'i, and Peter Munya as valueless political players within the opposition, given that he said, "Huwezi tembea kama mti" in his address yesterday?
I think my friend Eric Okeo has already addressed that. I think the concern that my party leader has is, let people go out there. Removing President Ruto from office is not a walk in the park. Go consolidate. Let's do lesser meetings in hotels. Let people go to the ground, mobilize their support bases, so that at the end of the day, we bring our blocks together and we form something, unified that can be able to remove President Ruto from power. So he's not belittling anybody. He's just saying we need to see people working harder than they are doing so that we consolidate our blocks. And the other thing that we in DCP are not very happy about is the issue of people, fishing fish that is already in the basket. I mean, go out there, go to the nearest water body, fish more so that we bring together. I mean, if, for example, I don't know why people are fighting Rigathi Gachagua, for example, because if, for example, when we won resoundingly in all Kalau, every other member of United Opposition should be happy that, that is now consolidated. The mountain is consolidated. They should consolidate in their blocks. Because, what value, for example, would Rigathi Gachagua add by going to convince, for example, voters in Ukambani, while Kalonzo Musyoka has already done that? This is informed by the fact that we will be fronting a single presidential candidate. So if Rigathi Gachagua has consolidated the mountain, if Kalonzo Musyoka has consolidated the mountain, the Ukambani, I mean, we do not, Peter Munya doesn't have to go to Kwambani to consolidate. He should go to other places that have not been consolidated. So that, because, all of them will come to the single presidential candidate.
Okay. So DCP being a national party,
yes,
Senator Nyutu, and you understand that political parties are vehicles to attain power. In that regard, then, are you not confining the party you subscribe to, you still are a UDA party member, to an ethnic region instead of going out to get the votes? Because yesterday Gachagua said clearly that except the presidency, will compete on all the other fronts. Why are you confining yourself?
That's right. We are not confining ourselves. We are saying, traditionally and historically, Ayub, we are in this country, we have been here. Every party has a stronghold. Even as you go out there, every party. For example, UDA's stronghold is the Rift Valley, and especially the Kalenjin. Rift Valley, if you allow me to say so. ODM's major stronghold has been lowland, and that's a fact. So before you go out there, consolidate your stronghold. That is what we are saying. And we are not saying that we are not going out there. Rigathi Gachagua will be in Kajiado on Saturday. He will be proceeding on Monday, he will be in Narok. Those are areas outside the mountain. But allow me,
yes, please.
Please.
Yeah.
Both Manduku and Senator Sigei have said very nasty things about my party leader. Senator Sigei said that he's bullish, he's unreasonable, he's a tribalist. I would rather hear that from somebody else, not somebody supporting William Ruto, who is the biggest, the worst tribalist that ever lived in this country. He may not say anything tribal, but what does he do? Look, and I will pass to Senator Sigei a list of all the Kalenjin. The Kalenjin are controlling, parastatus. Right from, and I have a list here, which I can share with you and with everybody. So, when Senator Sigei says that Rigathi Gachagua is a tribalist, when we remember what President Ruto does, when he says he's a bully, there is no worse bully than President Ruto. Why was I, for example, removed from being chair education? Actually, even from the committee. Why was Senator Medho removed? Why was Senator Murango removed? Why was Senator Karungo removed? While are you? Because now Senator Sigei is talking about tribalism. While President Ruto retained his tribesmen, including Senator Sigei here, in their possessions. He's still serving in his possession of Chair Jailak. Mandago is still serving in his possession as health chair. The Senator of Trans Nzoia is still serving his position as chair of IIT, Senator Murgo. So when people talk about tribalism, Senator Sigei should be the last person to call Rigathi Gachagua a tribalist when he's supporting President Ruto. Look at Manduku here saying that Rigathi Gachagua is saying that anybody from the mountain is not welcome to DCP. Come on. Manduku, you are a PhD holder. Please go and look at the party officials of DCP, and you will see inclusivity. Cosmetic. And you can actually refer to that. It's my time. I kept quiet when you were talking. Please, it's my time.
Briefly,
when he says the issue of shares, Manduku says that Rigathi Gachagua is the one who perpetuates the issue of shares, and he says that he has never heard about anybody else talking about shares. Manduku is in ODM. Where do you live, Manduku? Haven't you heard Gladys Wanga and Oburu Odinga say that the coalition that they are going to form with President Ruto, they will take 50%. 50%. Not even a smaller percentage to accommodate other Kenyans. So where does Manduku live? He cannot come here and cheat or tell lies to the viewers.
Point made, Senator. So, Sigei, you have been pointed out, so a right of reply before I come to it.
Thank you. It is very nice and juicy to be very sensational. Unfortunately, Kenyans, especially those who are watching us on this national platform, which we have actually said is the largest in the region where political statements are made. That is exactly what Joe Newtu is trying to do. Yesterday, the leader of majority in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, reacting to another rumor-mongering statement from those who subscribed to DCP, that all the OCSs, officers commanding police stations in Nairobi, are Kalenjin. In the floor of the House, that statement came out, and the person who was making allegations had to chicken out because there was no way they could confirm that. That is the same statement that Senator Joe Newtu is trying to say. Unfortunately, as I've said, Kenyans out there know what it is. UDA is a national party. I do not want to name the hierarchy of the leadership of UDA as to whether the party leader is a Kalenjin and deputy party leader is a Kalenjin and the secretary general is a Kalenjin and the rest of the leadership of that party are Kalenjins. Is not a story I can tell here. It is known out there in public. DCP, on the other hand, we know it. Gachagua, Medhu, and his team.
How about Cleophas Malala?
Mount Kenya leaders. Cleophas Malala alitolewa.
Nanani.
He's nowhere.
Lini.
It's my time. I didn't interrupt.
Is he not the deputy party
Number
leader?
two, very well.
Yeah.
Let's look at the majority of that hierarchical office. So it is okay to be very sensational. It is okay to say Senator Sigei is still the chairperson of JLAC by virtue not of his tribal lineage, but by virtue of, one, qualification, two, the position that we have had as a political party. The reason for the removal of Joe Newtu, Medhu, and Tangwa from their positions of leadership and Kamaru Murango is because of different opinions and different political positions they have taken. There is no way you can chair a committee of a political party that has a plan to deliver for the party manifesto within Parliament when you are saying this is a government that I don't still support. You have got to be removed. He is selectively avoiding to make reference to the removal of Senator Sotsi, Senator Sifuna, and the rest of the members who've been removed by ODM and other political parties, because that is what is supposed to happen. So it's unfortunate that, Senator Newtu can just speak and speak and speak, thinking that that is what people will do. Now, all these allegations is because Gachagua and his team are reacting to the negative comments that have come from Kenyans from his utterances, including the fact that, you know what, we are consolidating the mountain. Nobody has said anything else other than them who are saying, if you are not in DCP, you are lazy, you're not part of us, get out. So let's stop this rumor mongering. Let's stop this gossip. And you know Gachagua and now unfortunately Newtu have become the best gossipers in town. You say it, including the statement you have told him. Yeah. We are on national TV. Let's forget about the rumors. He's denying the statement by his own Secretary General because he best thrives in rumors. Okay. We don't do that.
Yeah. Before I come to Dan Manduku, Eric, certainly at the President's disposal, two things, and how he may end up executing this, because also the Senator acknowledges that. A YK 92 member in 1990s, and President Moi ends up winning the first elections after the repeal of 2A of Katiba then, because of the Matiba, Jaramogi and Kibaki divide. Had they consolidated, they'll have beaten Moi by a bigger margin.
Absolutely. 2002,
William Ruto's friend, Uhuru Kenyatta, a Moi protege, loses the elections, and William Ruto tested defeat. Not individually, but his friend, because he was part of the KANU system. So ideally, how will these two political lessons be at the President's playbook as we head into next year, into 2027?
Thank you, Ayub. But before that, let me just make a statement that may help highlight that DCP is not, confined to Kikuyu land or Central. Remember, this DCP fielded a candidate in the Emurua Dikir parliamentary by-election and performed so well. They got 10,000, was it 10,500 votes plus in Emurua Dikir. Emurua Dikir is predominantly Kalenjin speaking. So the voters of that candidate cannot be called Kikuyu voters. Hence, we must debunk this pedestrian argument that DCP is Kikuyu. In Narok town, in the by-election for the member of the county assembly, the candidate for DCP emerged the winner, beating UDA. Narok County is not Kikuyu. It is predominantly also Kalenjin and Maasai, if you like. So I just wanted us to sometimes also be fair, but each party comes somewhere. Now, today, Ayub, you've asked me a very good question. President William Ruto's mindset hasn't departed the YK92. He's still a typical YK92 operator. And that is why me, when I'm told about someone having a PhD, I say, in what? Because people have PhDs in extremely relevant things from those that they perform in. Hence, they perform dismally. So don't keep throwing titles of academic nature and you perform as poor as Ruto is performing. There is the newest kid in the block called Linda Moneni. And I want to speak about Linda Moneni. Linda Moneni is coming with 3 spheres that one must not ignore. One, Linda Moneni is coming with what is called the ODM supporters who think that Senator Sifuna was mistreated. So ODM supporters who currently in the ODM role are supporting Linda Moneni on account of thinking, no, this was Raila's son and who believed in the Raila ideal. Some of the things Sifuna says today, he said in Raila's presence with Ruto. I remember the burial of George Oduor, who was Raila's aide, you remember? And that's when Ruto said, we'll deal with you as founders. And the founders began, and you saw the founders' cake in White Sands et al. Now you see the registrar of political parties gave a response of inability to register Linda Moneni. But the Daily's report of some other people having been able to register something akin and close to Linda Moneni. Those are just state actors. That's how the state operates. It's easy to predict. And William Ruto has done exactly everything that he castigated atop the UDA vehicles with his Bible during the 2022 campaigns. Everything he said his administration would not do to Kenyans is what he has done. He said he will not use police to intimidate. You have seen them intimidate. I mean, the other day, the manner in which the Honorable Kagushia was picked up from here was meant to inflict panic, scare on some of us who come to speak here on issues that sometimes may not be pleasant to government. But we'll still speak regardless of the outcome, because the Honorable Kagushia spoke in his mother tongue in Nyeri. He should have been summoned to Nyeri. It was absurd to see Kandie, the regional DCI boss for Nairobi, coming to arrest an MP on account of things said in Nyeri. There's an RCIO in Nyeri also. So these are all those pockets of a regime misusing state apparatus. Right. The beauty, Ayub, is that Olkalau has shown Kenyans that it is possible to take all manner of goodies from the state. After all, they are their rights. After all, they are money stolen from the taxpayers' coffer. Because Ayub, when you go to the bank today, you and me, and you want to withdraw in excess of 1 million shillings, my friend, the manner of forms you have to fill. And you'll be told sometimes, you go, we will call you. Because it is meant to take care of some fiduciary responsibility. The amounts of monies that President Ruto apologists, politicians run with in choppers all over are drawn from which banks? They use which instruments to draw those monies? So Kenyans are not foolish. And Olkalau made us see that, look, it is possible to take the mattress, sleep on it aside of the one you've been having, because nobody in Olkalau was sleeping on the mat. Cook with that gas. Go and play with the boat. Go go and vote with conviction. And it is possible. Kenyans now know they will vote, they will take care of their votes.
All right.
Tutapiga, tutalinda. Which
is not a responsibility. Ideally, there is a mandated institution that takes care of that. Yes, Dan.
Ayub, they keep talking about Olkalau. And in hindsight, I think it is good that they won this seat, because then it has had the positive effect of overbloating their ego. And that is why the DCP party leader today wants to crowd out the quartet of Peter Munya, Lenny Kivutre, Martha Karua, and Justice Muturi. Because in his view, they are irrelevant in as far as the mountain vote is concerned. Now, having said that, Ayub, and going back to your earlier question, history tends to repeat itself. And we are exactly at the same point that we were in 1992. Those of us who are old enough remember that what is happening to Rigathi Gachagua is exactly what happened to Kenneth Matiba upon his arrival from the United Kingdom, when he saw multitudes never seen before and believed that they would propel him to State House. The same mentality has now inflicted his party leader. And I can tell you, Ayub, come rain, come sunshine, Rigathi Gachagua will be on the ballot. Never mind the legal hurdles that are going on. And he'll make sure that he makes the other candidates look subservient. And he'll keep coming up with the theory of numbers. And so, finally, this contest will be shaped into the mountain versus Kenyans. That's the unfortunate bit about it. In fact, he has said it himself. So people like Oli Kokeo will come trooping back, but we have no conditions. Let them come back. Even Munya can come back to us. Martha Karua is welcome. Lenny Kivuti are all welcome, because where they are trying to find space, they are not wanted. Waswahili wanasema akufukuzae akwambi toka. And that is what Gachagua is telling them, that you people, I don't need you here because you have no numbers. For us, in the broad-based government, we welcome everyone, as long as you're a Kenyan. You don't have to subscribe to this tribal, ethnic bigotry that his party leader is perpetuating. Ayub, there was a young man called Edgar Obaga. He's my constituent, a good friend of mine. He was unceremoniously removed as Secretary General of DCP because he is Kisii, and replaced by someone from the mountain. People forget very fast. And yet, the senator here says they are not tribal. What else can be more tribal than that? Ayub, let me say this. It's a year to the elections.
Okay.
We in the broad-based government are already agreeing on coalition formation. They are still saying they are not ready to discuss. Why? Because they don't want to discuss with people who don't have numbers. They have already decided that everyone else is irrelevant except themselves. And here, I mean DCP.
Okay. So who, in your view, between your party leader, Dr. Oburu, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, and Ali Hassan Joho will be the president's running mate?
That you ask the president. You can't ask me that. That's an unfair question. Ask William Ruto.
Won't you support your party leader because he said he's fit to be the...
Anyone from my party who is chosen by William Ruto shall be the candidate.
So why William Ruto, not the party structures? I mean,
because
ODM is one of the
party structures will give names. 3, 4, 5 names. Maybe even my name would be there, you don't know.
Okay.
Then William Ruto will pick one of them.
Okay, now that you're here and you're on the receiving end of the questions, who between, in your view, as Dan Manduku, the representative of the people of Nyaribari Masaba, do you prefer or pick between Oburu or Oparanya? Do
you know that Sifuna is still a member of ODM? Why not Sifuna? Do you know Baba Owino is still a member of ODM? Why not Baba Owino?
And they are in on the other side of the political coin of the party.
When I checked last, they were still members of ODM. So we still have an array of capable leaders, young, capable leaders, and any of them is a candidate.
Are you optimistic they will flood back to the party?
Definitely.
Senator Newton.
Thank you, Ayub. Just allow me to read for Manduku and Senator Sigei, the party leadership in DCP.
Okay.
Party leader Rigathi Gachagua, deputy party leader Cleophas Malala, national chairperson David Mingati Pasaina from Narok, executive director, whom now Manduku wants to conveniently say that he was fired. He's the executive director. So that was just a change of office.
Flower girl.
It's my time. Deputy Secretary General Martin Ole Kamwaro, National Organizing Secretary Midhika Linturi, National Treasurer Anna Kavu Mutua, Deputy Chairperson Operations Margaret Sarah Owino, National Youth Leader Sarah Wanjiku Dhiga, Director of Elections Andrew Kiplimo, and so on and so on. Ayub, allow me also to tell you, Senator Sigei says, I'm driving on rumors. If you allow me, Ayub, maybe to mention just a few names. Head of Civil Service Felix Kosgei, Kenyan CEO Abraham Serem, I don't know whether he has been removed since. Kenya Power CEO was Joseph Sirol. Kenya Pipeline CEO Joe Sang. Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Agency CEO Daniel Kiptom.
No, he's no longer there.
Yeah, but he was. Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority, and I can go on and on. So we have facts.
Okay.
We are not just using rumors. But
okay. So, Senator, before you execute your point, I'll give you the time.
Yes.
So are these appointments, because you were in government then at the time, were they made based on competencies and qualifications, or you are calling these out because of they share the same ethnicity with the president?
No, it's simply ethnicity. Because, and I have heard my colleague Senator Sigei say that, placement in committees depends, or, he is there because he's qualified. Senator Sigei is not the only lawyer in the Senate. Whoever chairs education committee currently is not even an educationist. So if you're talking about qualifications, for example, spares, it's not about qualifications. If I was not removed for being incompetent, and Senator Sigei says that I was removed, we were removed, he actually, because it's recorded, he actually said that we could not have continued serving committees of a political party. These are not committees of a political party. These are committees of the Senate. And the idea of having committees in the Senate, Ayub, is because we cannot be able to sort out all the matters in plenary. So when we are in committees, we are doing parliamentary duties, so that then we bring committee reports for adoption to the House. So these are not political party, positions. These are committees of the House. And so when you say that if I'm not supporting government, then I should be removed from a particular committee, then you are confusing Kenyans. I am elected to serve in the Senate, and the parliamentary committees are meant to do parliamentary, jobs.
So, Senator, in your view, because this is about statecraft,
yes,
and as the opposition outfit, one of the parties in the opposition,
yes,
you are scrambling for power,
yes,
all right, to govern.
Yes.
So you must have an understanding about statecraft, okay? So would it not be unfair if then Senator Sigei, or is it not unfair to the president, if we are to look at his cabinet appointments, a majority who come from your backyard, Mount Kenya region?
That's the greatest joke. What President Ruto did, and people have since seen through the lies. You appoint somebody from the mountain, a cabinet secretary. But then you make sure that under that particular CS, you have a PS whom you give all the powers. And I do not want to mention names here, but that is exactly what he did. And so, these cabinet secretaries that people keep talking about, that they come from the mountain. Look at the most recent appointments, for example. Were they even in UDA? They're just people appointed politically, as flower girls. And allow me to say that, because they did not even belong to UDA, about 4 of them. So they're just there so that people can be told, these are people from your region, but looks But look at the ministries. Look at who has the power. Because these things, you call it statecraft, and I agree with you. Look at who enjoys the power, who actually controls things in the ministries, whom actually President Ruto works with. Because President Ruto is a person who works even with directors of ministries by passing CSs, and it is known. And you can talk in private to CSs, and they are a very frustrated lot. So this issue of telling us that people are given cabinet slots, they're just there. They're just flower girls. The real power, statecraft, lies with sometimes directors, not even PSs sometimes. And to talk to them, Ayuba, I know you meet them. But allow me, please, very quickly. Senator Sigei says that I didn't mention the removal of Senator Osotsi, who belongs to ODM. Who controls ODM today? It's William Ruto. And I'm happy Eric Okeo has referred to that particular meeting where the bodyguard of the late Raila Amolo Odinga was being married. William Ruto said, I will call an ODM meeting and we will work on you. Since then, Sifuna has been removed. So Osotsi has been removed at the instigation of William Ruto, who controls ODM as we speak. So that is not an example that Senator Sigei can give here.
Certainly Manduku will not agree, but finish your just finish.
No.
Make your point.
It's actually Senator Sigei who said that I didn't mention.
But he is an ODM party member. but just
yes,
let him.
An ODM party member whom, when you ask him, supporting government, of course, when you ask him whether, about the position, the situation, as at the time that this government was constituted, that were shares not being perpetuated there, then he tells you, I was not in UDA, but he talks too much about DCP, like he's there. He doesn't want to talk about UDA, but he wants to talk too much about DCP. Look at him, look at Manduku here telling you that All Kalau has given us a bloated ego. Of course, yes, we feel good because we went against boats, we went against, trains, we went against gas cylinders and do you know how many times we folded the UDA candidate? 7 times. 35,000 against 5,000 after all the money, all the projects. Basically, after government had, relocated to All Kalau, but we did not compete with UDA, by the way. We folded that candidate, UDA candidate, 7 times. Okay. And Manduku wants us to start lamenting about that. We are very happy. We feel good. Our spirits are high, Manduku, and there is nothing you can do about it. And do you know what? That is what is going to be replicated when we hold the next general elections. He says that Rigathi Gachagua will certainly be on the ballot. I really wish and pray that the other principals in the united opposition, nominate him to actually be the one on the ballot. But he has said categorically that if the formula does not favor him, he will support fully whoever will be nominated to fly the flag of the united opposition. And Manduku plays, when he says that it will be the mountain against other Kenyans. Manduku, this election, Ayub, is simple. Ruto versus the people of Kenya, whose pay slips he has mutilated, whose education system he has messed, whose healthcare system he has messed, who has abducted young Kenyans. His government has abducted young Kenyans, has killed young Kenyans, many of them, and it is in record. Those are the people. It will be the people of Kenya against President William Ruto. Right. It is not the people of the mountain. The people of the mountain will unite with other Kenyans in a united opposition. Okay. So, Manduku, please, when you say some of these things, please be careful.
Before I give Manduku the right of reply, Senator, so I'm looking at the outlook of your party structure. Rigathi Gachagua being the party leader, Cleophas Malala, David Pasaire, the executive director from Nyaribari Masaba. You also have a cocktail of representation from Nyanza, from Ukambani, and also from the Rift Valley.
Yes.
But I'm looking at the vetting panel that John Medhu, the SG, and members will be part of, that is constituted by Kiambu's Karungu Wadhangwa, Kirinyaga Woman MP Njeri Maina, Jen Kihara Naivasha, Wanjiku Mohia Kipipiri, and Embakasi Central's Benjamin Gadhiru here in Nairobi Major Dong. So ideally, if this is your mosaic, which is the representation of the face of Kenya, how comes your vetting committee is only people from Central Kenya?
Thank you very much. Ayub, I think we need to understand how DCP was founded. How it was founded. Please talk about you, ODM, where you belong.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Allow me to talk about DCP. The people that are going to be vetted, and I say this on authority, I mean, so that I can even be quoted tomorrow. We are not going to, we will not be vetting anyone who wants to join us from outside Mount Kenya. And why I say this is because the traitors of our cause, we talk about Mount Kenya leaders who have, and our people are very bitter with this, Ayub, who have collaborated with William Ruto to bring violence in churches, who have collaborated with William Ruto to attack our people, despite them being our own, but they are the ones that William Ruto has been using to attack churches, to attack leaders, women and children, to bring violence to Mount Kenya. So those are the ones that will be vetted. And I can assure you, and that's why I say on authority. Yeah. If you get anyone outside Mount Kenya who wants to join DCP and is being subjected to any vetting, please put me to task.
Okay.
So that is why, and you must also understand that the people, this formation, the elected leaders who have been here in this particular formation, mostly came from Mount Kenya, and that is nothing. I mean, that is nothing unique. I mean, it has happened. If you look at ODM, how it was formed, if you look at the original membership, you'll find that therein were people like Anyang' Nyong'o. I mean, those leaders from who worked with the Raila from that particular.
But also there were plenty. Henry Kosgei, the veterans, Najib Balala.
Yeah, they were there.
Even the Pentagon itself.
They were there.
So the point
what I'm saying.
So that is a localized sense of vetting people from the region, the leadership of the region.
Yes, because
who have collaborated with the president.
Why that? I'm talking about that particular vetting panel that you are talking about. I mean, look at the membership. Look at the elected leaders who have been supporting Rigathi Gachagua. Basically, most of them, because this is a formation. It's a new formation. It's coming up. Most of them, I mean, that particular meeting, most of them are people from that region, elected leaders, because the others, of course, and that's why they want to join us. The others, even from other communities, are being twisted by William.
And largely because the impeachment was also partly one of the reasons that was mentioned. Say, for example, Senator Hilary Sigei wants to defect to the DCP party.
Yes.
What will be the language of conversation at this table?
Language of communication?
Yeah, because you said it's localized sense of targeting those collaborators from the region who have collaborated with William.
But Hilary Sigei will not be vetted by anybody. Because he does not come from the region.
Okay, look at what Medhu said.
Yes.
He said that after being pictured with him, he meant Rigathi, some could go on falsehood spree, claiming they parted with hefty amounts to be given direct tickets. Others may secretly record their conversations with him and sell the clips of or to the government. Yes. So basically there's fear on the part of the loyalty. Okay? If Senator Sigei from Bomet County wants to defect and he no longer wants to collaborate with the president and wants to come to the DCP party, and given the suspicions you have with the people in the broad-based government, how will he be treated?
We have no suspicion with the people in the broad-based government. But we have a very big problem with the people from our region who have, and I think I'm repeating this, who have collaborated with William Ruto in sponsoring violence in the region. That's what we are saying. And that's why we call them traitors. Because what is a traitor?
Okay. Other than violence, Senator, we keep it at statecraft.
Yes.
This is government. Yes. Because you are you are seeking power, and that's why I'm holding you to account.
Yes.
There's no major undoing than unseating a deputy president who was impeached. And Senator Sigei, I presume, voted on all the grounds of impeachment at the Senate.
There were 11. I did 7.
7?
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
If he wants to
and he was impeached on 5.
A DCP ticket and he goes to Amunyoro, what will be the treatment this senator, given his collaboration with William Ruto, as you have said?
He will not, because, of course, he was serving, by that time, he was serving William Ruto's interests. Yeah. And, I mean, you look at how politics is organized in this country. I mean, Senator Sigei cannot be able to sponsor violence in Mount Kenya because he does not even understand the geography of the mountain. So you cannot call him a traitor. Yeah. You know, but somebody from Mount Kenya, and I repeat, who has been collaborating with William Ruto to bring mayhem and havoc to our people, because that is what has been happening. And you have reported these incidents even here.
Oh, SCK,
you know, attacks on churches and that kind of thing. It could not have happened, Ayub, without local leadership. They are the people who understand where Witima Church is.
Okay.
They are the people who understand where, just a minute, they are the people who understand which local goons are available. That's why we call them traitors. Okay. And that's why we say we will vet them. Senator Sigei would just be welcome. He would just join the party and become part of us. So we have no conditions.
Don't expect me to.
We have no conditions. In fact, we don't need you. It's only, I'm only using your name because Ayuba has mentioned it. Yes. We do not use you because you can only serve as a mole for President Ruto. So I only mentioned
Those
it
are the fears
because you used his name. Actually, I mean, we are not interested in Senator Sigei, joining us, but we will have a candidate in Bomet. And we will poll very many votes. We have decided, my party leader has decided, that in the Kipsigis community, we will respect President Ruto because that is his backyard. We will leave him with about 40%. But we are going to take some 60%. And Senator Sigei should start talking nicely to me. Because, of course, we are coming, Senator Sigei.
I think, Ayub,
so we keep it because of time, yes.
You asked him a very straightforward question. The vetting panel. He has not answered, and he will not answer. Ayub, Senator Nyutu is now taking us on a very dangerous discussion. And I think it is good to put context here. He's introducing a new terminology in politics called traitors or betrayal. I want to remind him that he himself and the region from where he hails has been the most beneficiary of betrayals in this country, political betrayals. And I'll go back to 1963, when Jaramogi said, no independence without Kenyatta.
Not yet, Uhuru.
Forward, the 1966 Limuru Conference, where they betrayed the same Jaramogi and created 8 new deputy or vice presidents as it was then. Fast forward, Daniel Arap Moi becomes president in 1978. His closest betrayer is one Charles Njonjo. There's a commission of inquiry which actually found him guilty. Come Raila Odinga, he says Kibaki tosha. Kibaki betrays him again. Recently, and I was there. Kumi yangu, kumi ya Ruto. Who betrayed Ruto again? You should not talk about political betrayal. Because they have been perpetuators of that in this country, historically. And I'm not creating things here. Why did we impeach the deputy president? Let me tell you. It was discovered that he was actually working with other people outside to destabilize government. In fact, he was trying to betray William Ruto.
How so?
By inciting and funding Gen Z protests.
On those natural causes, because they...
That's a discussion for another day. Call me and I'll come with the facts.
Which is an allegation you can't prove.
Call me and I'll come with the facts.
We'll have some other time, yeah.
These are things that Joe Nyutu will not talk about. But the last question.
Yes.
You read an array of names there about the leadership of DCP. Yes. The mosaic looks perfect. Face of Kenya. But those who run the party is party leader, SG, treasurer. All those posts are held by people from Mount Kenya. Okay. The rest are just periphery roles.
Yes.
In the interest of time, I will be very, very brief. I didn't finish. let me today also pitch heavily for Linda Moneni. I told you, and I just said one, that Linda Moneni gets up with the benefit and advantage of ODM supporters who think Sifuna was mistreated. Linda Moneni comes with the general following of the young people who think the government has not been good to them. And Linda Moneni now also comes with home-based, first-hand support to Senator Sifuna by Western. And even Luoland, Linda Moneni is getting very good reception through Governor James Orengo. I want to say something here that will scare you. The level of tribalism perpetuated by statecraft and intimidation over accounting officers of government is scary. Last year, I visited a close friend of mine whose wife then was an accounting officer of a state corporation. And part of why I had gone was a person, a young man, a graduate whom I knew had applied for a job. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with pitching for a job for a deserving Kenyan. What the lady said to me, the lady is from the Kalenjin ethnic group. The spouse, the husband, is from my Luo community. And the lady said they have silent instruction that 70% of recruitment must come from their ethnic community. And I'm saying this on live television. I can swear an affidavit on this. She said they have been told if that number is not sufficient, call the chiefs at home. And as a result, she did not help this deserving Kenyan because she was going to call the chief at home. That's not how to run a country. And that perhaps is why young people think President Ruto was an accident to the country and that this country must reset itself away from William Ruto. And I think, Ayub, that in the days to come, 1 year is too long in politics. Even a day is heavy. So we are a whole year away. I am sure that the opposition will get its house in order, will overcome the infiltration by the state to ensure that they disintegrate. I am sure that they will pull and present one candidate who will beat William Ruto.
Thank you. Yes, Senator.
Ayub, you have exposed badly today my colleague, Senator Jonyu, too. His rumor, style of doing things, his ignorance to what's going on in government. And I'm so sorry about that. When it came to the cabinet secretaries who are Kenyans serving in President William Ruto's government, unfortunately coming from Mount Kenya, they unfortunately immediately become flower girls and flower boys. When it came to the names of purported Kalenjins, who have actually since even left office, the gentleman from EPRA left office, the gentleman from KPC left office, and similarly from Kenyan. But he's saying it on national TV. This is why I'm saying it's so unfortunate that such statements can come from a leader who is expected to form a conversation within his county, support at the platform in Parliament and across the country. So that exposure is important. It's good for them to be coming so that the Kenyans who are real Kenyans will appreciate that these are just the same politicians who are doing rumor murmuring, who are the people who do not have the best for these Kenyans. And so, unfortunately, this statement about our people betray us is the tribal line that we have said we will not allow to continue in Kenya. And President William Ruto will come back as a second-term president because he will be the most consequential president. He will be re-elected because of his development agenda, unity to the people of Kenya, the programs in affordable housing, the changes and reforms that he has done, including the latest in the SHA and the Universal Healthcare Program. That is what will bring Kenya and President William Ruto to his second term, as against the opposition that has no plan, no alternative ideas, no vision other than tribal inclinations.
Thank you. So, 1 minute.
Thank you. I just wanted to tell Manduku that Charles Jonjo did not betray Moi. Yeah. Charles Jonjo made Moi president, and that history is there, well documented in Kenyans in Kenya's memoirs. I mean, and you know that, had it not been for Jonjo, Moi would not have become president, and everybody knows what he did. I want to tell him that our region, because he has said that we have betrayed William Ruto, when he was told yangu kumi, yako kumi. We made Ruto president. We gave him 47% of the vote. Yeah. We did not betray William Ruto. We actually went against Uhuru Kenyatta and decided that we had said yangu kumi, yako kumi. We gave him 5 years, but he betrayed us. That must be corrected. We did not betray William Ruto. We gave him our vote. Okay. But he threw them away and insulted us. He's calling us. Now, he says that Rigathi, this must be corrected, please. He says that Rigathi betrayed William Ruto because he funded Gen Zs to do that particular. I mean, that's laughable. I mean, they came from all over. And why has action not been taken against somebody who then engaged in something that was treasonous? I mean, Manduku can do better. He cannot talk things like somebody who has just, come from some village somewhere. When Senator Sigei says that I'm ignorant because, there are people who left office, he should go ahead and tell us who replaced them. I mean, when he says that we are ignorant, it's because we are exposing what they are doing.
Thank you.
The kind of tribalism they are perpetuating. Because in this country, and talk even to people even in parliamentary staff, they will tell you, if you're not challenging, then your chances are very, very slim. Well, and Sigei here wants to call that ignorance because, of course, he talks about competence. I want to tell him that incompetence does not reside in Mount Kenya. And I maintain that the CSs that William Ruto has appointed from Mount Kenya region, especially those appointed recently, are nothing but flower girls. And that does not and will not change.
Thank you. Point made, Senator. So let's sample the feedback. The hashtag on X is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Bob says, DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua is absolutely right. In order for the united opposition to achieve their one-term dream, his co-principals should consolidate their regions first, like he has done for the Mount Kenya region. Team Kenya says, what's happening in the opposition is purely what politics is. Without numbers, you make no sense. The only problem they have is Gachagua is telling them facts. You can't sit in your house and leave Sifuna and Gachagua to give you numbers. Engineer Lazaro says the truth is united opposition has started feeling the first acid test for coalition building. Rigathi can't do the donkey work, then only hand over the mandate to someone on silver platter. Let everyone bring his cards on the table. Team again says ODM and UDA should not think that they are all-inclusive. Kenyans need services, youths need employment, low operational costs to do business, not the bread-based unshares ODM is talking about. Indeed, Gachagua was not the problem in government. Sir Nixon says, as voters, our emphasis is not on parties, but rather on quality leaders who demonstrate high integrity, clear visions, who prioritize public welfare over personal power, and who unite communities to solve challenges effectively. Babu says all politicians in Kenya right now are in one way or the other tribalist. You may not sound tribal, but act tribal, which is the most terrible way to act. Let's not go round and round. By the way, even ODM and UDA pact is more focused on regions and tribe. Cheboy Amos says our politicians speak about tribal politics with such passion, but they seem intent on reinforcing the very divisions they know already exist. Babu Michael, the truth of Kenyan politics is that it is tribal no matter how much we try to demystify that fact. Our party leader continuously says he wants to go real numbers to the UDM-ODA table. What does that mean? Solidifying his bases starting from the Nyanza region. Gentlemen, many thanks for your time.
Kenyans agreed with that. Kenyans agreed
According to CA,
yeah.
Those are the people who will go.
Thank you,
going
Senator.
to re-elect President Ruto.
So the people will do that. Gentlemen, thanks for your time. Senator Anyuto,
Thank you.
Eric, thank you. Senator CA, thank you. Dan, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And good morning.